Hello, everybody, and welcome to a very special Eclipse edition of Power Hour. Very special guests here, Coach Jay and David Green here. I'll be honest, it feels like I'm just sitting inside of a tinted Honda Civic right now. That's basically what the Eclipse is, as far as I can tell. How do we feel about the Eclipse today, gentlemen? And how has the trading been? Been a little choppy.
Yeah, I think everyone's staring at the sun right now, trying to figure out what's going on. Not a lot of volume, but we'll see what we can get out of this power hour. Maybe when all the traders come back and they can't see, we can take advantage of some trades.
Yeah, right. And then, David, how has the trading session been? Have you enjoyed these markets thus far?
Yeah, again, it's been really choppy. I agree. We had a couple of nice moves in the futures that set up for a couple of nice trades for us. If we look at the last 2 hours, we're just in this tight little range here. Nothing is setting up to do at all.
Yeah.
So it's been fairly quiet. We had the big dipsy doodle around 12 o'clock that set up for a trade, and since then it's just been chop city. So not a lot to do.
It has definitely been Chop City. So when you have a day like this, I mean, are you anticipating this because you did your research on Sunday and you knew that there was going to be more economic releases on Wednesday and Thursday, or do you just take whatever happens?
I 100% take whatever happens. We got to be aware of all the news that's coming out, and like you said, we got CPI and PPI on Wednesday and Thursday. So those will be the big events that move the markets this week. But I don't do any homework, guys. I don't read the Wall Street Journal. I don't look at Barron's. We're day traders. I come in the morning, look at my charts, things set up to trade. That's when we're going to make trades.
Yeah, I'm with you on that one, David. I feel like reading the news sometimes can cloud your judgment, right? And you start making opinions about something that should happen, and ultimately we have to read what the market is going to do.
Yeah, it's a analysis by paralysis.
Right.
Keep it simple.
Yeah. It looks like the indices are starting to roll a little bit, but my goodness, are they incredibly range bound today?
Very tight. Yeah, there was a small imbalance. It was a little over 1 billion shares on the sell side, which isn't really enough to move the markets. When we get up to 2-3 billion, that's when you'll see some giant moves come out around 3 o'clock. This was very, very small. So we did have 1 billion for sale. We had just about 1 billion for sale, and you saw a little pullback of 10-15 points. But when it gets to 2-3 billion, that's when we want to get on the same side of that at 3 o'clock. And the next thing now will be 350. Will be the final market on closes. And believe it or not, you guys, I'm sure you've seen this. Sometimes in the last 10 minutes, we'll see gigantic moves out of the futures. And that's why. So nothing setting up right here. 350 will be the next time, if anything happens. So we'll see.
Anything, I would agree. Yeah. Go ahead, Jeb.
Dolby, the last time I was on with you, we were talking about range bound markets. The Dow Ranger. And I was saying I need to take your range bound market class. You were saying, join me for Power Hour. No time like the present. What do we do here? Or is this range too tight to trade?
It is not too tight to trade. I mean, a range can occur on any market. And just for some context, I am a range bound trader. I love trading ranges, buying lows, selling highs. And we got a very, very tight range. Typically, I'm trading the YM or crude oil, a little bit of NASDAQ here and there. And yeah, I mean, we're on a 5-minute YM chart right now. The range is very, very tight. If you wanted, you could have bought 39,223. That would have been a cheap trade, in my opinion. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 bounces off that level. The thing is the payoff going to be really good because it is really tight of a range? Yeah. Something I've been working on is trying to get better with exiting my trades. Kind of got screwed earlier this morning on a Dow trade, getting stopped out to the tick perfectly. So that was pretty frustrating. But the bigger the range, the more value there is in there. You just have to have a little bit more room for stop runs on the outside to kind of take into account for that volatility for the larger time frames. But we are on the 5-minute. I think you still can trade it. I would just be quick in maybe getting in and out and kind of tempering your expectations for upside targets.
So Nick, let me ask you,
go ahead.
What would be your trades that you're looking at? The bottom of the range is like what? 39,213. The top of the range is like 39,265. So is that what you're looking for? You're looking to put orders in on both sides of that and just trade in between it?
Yeah, so I go from top down. I want to try to find the biggest range or consolidation I can for the day, and I'll label them on my chart. So here's a 4-hour range low at the bottom at 39,153, and then I did a 1-hour range high up here, but this is also the 4-hour range high as well. So ideally, what you'd be trying to do is like buy the bottom of the range and then sell the top. Now, what happened today is that I was trying to work the bottom of this range for fast markets, and we ended up getting stopped out right here at 165. And if you don't believe me and can zoom in, here are the three orders, three long YM stopped out at 39,165 for a total loss of about $200. And that is that tick right there at the very, very, very bottom that ended up rallying to the upside. So that was unfortunate, but the trade location was really good. We just didn't, we just got unlucky, to be honest. Very, very unlucky. But yes, David, that's in general what we're looking for. Just big ranges, sell tops, buy bottoms, and then, try to take profit on the way. It is a strategy that requires some patience and discipline just because you do have to sit in trades for quite a while. So we will try to find some of those range-bound trades. We just need to be, I think, a little bit quicker in taking profits today.
If you look at my chart on the YM, I think, do you guys have my chart up now? Can we share it?
Oh, you're good. You're good. You're good. Yeah.
All right. So if you look at my chart on the YM, where you got stopped out, right?
Yeah.
Just about where you got stopped out. You see my little pivot point down there?
Yep, 39,160. Yeah.
That would have been a spot. That would have been a spot for me to get in on the long side. Just missed it, right? That would have been a spot for me to get in on the long side. And if you look at the NQs, this was our one really good trade of the day. When the NQs at 1220 spiked down to our pivot point, this is just one of the technicals that we use. Okay, I use moving averages, I use pivot points, but we went down 75 points and almost exactly hit our pivot point. I mean, we went 4 points below that. We almost exactly hit our pivot point. This was 18,257, and we held on to some of the trade until it got up to our resistance at 18,289. That's a 32-point profit on a bit of our trade. So when we talk about trade management and stuff and where you get in and where your stops are, this is all personal preference. Personally, I give the NQs at least a 10-point stop when I get in them because it's that volatile, depending on what kind of trade I'm looking for also. But I'm taking profits as it goes up. But to get the most out of our trades, which I try to do on every trade, I know the segment before we were talking about trade management, right? And, there's a lot of people that can pick the exact spots to get in, buy and sell stocks, and it still doesn't mean that they're successful, right? But I'm always going to hold on to a portion of my trade until it gets to my resistance level. And that was up like 32 points where we got out of the last little part of the trade. So we got in on support and we got out of the rest of the trade on resistance. And
that's a
literally
trade.
For the last 2.5 hours, we have been talking to ourselves and doing absolutely nothing. This is just like you said, it's just totally range bound. There's nothing here to do. So, we wait. We're patient. We're disciplined. We wait for things to set up. Well, we're not trading. It's that simple.
Yeah, so we get to sit here and chit chat. And Tess, you're first in chat. Well, why the 65 EMA instead of the 50?
That's a great question. You asking me? Is that for me?
Yep.
Yeah. A lot of trial and error, and we just figured out the things that work best for the different types of trades that we look for. So for us, for me, for our techniques, those are the moving averages that work for us. And keep in mind, I'm not always using the moving averages unless something's moving to get to one of those moving averages. If you look at all my moving averages right now, right, they're all right next to each other. That doesn't mean anything to me. Something has to move to get you to one of our support or resistance levels before I'm even going to think about making a trade. If you look earlier in the day here, when we got up to our 65 EMA, it got a little bit above it, pulled back 15, 20 points. Even the first time here, when we got to a 30 EMA, it pulled back 10 or 15 points for a trade. But something's got to move for me substantially to get to one of those levels before it's important. When we look in here and we see all this stuff just sitting right here, no, not going to do that.
Those are braided. I don't think I've ever seen moving averages so tight. Those are flat.
Yeah, I mean,
sleep on those.
Right. So they don't mean anything when they're just sitting like this. Anything. Look, for any trade, and I'm sure it's the same with all you guys. I want something to move to a level that I'm looking for. Otherwise, it's just not I look at it this way: the odds aren't good of making any kind of trade here, right? And what we want to do, what all of us want to do, however we do it, is put the odds of our trades in our favor working, right? It's not going to all the time. We know that. We're going to have losing trades no matter what we do. Anyone who says they don't is full of shit, pardon my language. We're all going to have losing trades.
It's the truth.
But what I'm looking for is just to put the odds in my favor of a trade working. After an 80-point move and having a support level, I feel that the odds are in my favor of that trade working. And that's what I look for all day long. That's it. It's not that difficult. The easier part of trading, the easier part of trading is this, guys and girls, right? Everyone here will tell you that the hardest part is what's here. That's the hardest part of trading. It's not even a contest, right?
100%. And I'm kind of going through that right now. And I did want to, I was talking about this earlier in fast markets. I kind of wanted to do like a discipline challenge with you, chat, especially during power hour. I think there's all one thing that we're really trying to improve. And personally, I think just focusing on one thing and trying to get better at that over time is a good way to do it. So, chat, I'm going to challenge myself and you as well. So, for me personally, for this little discipline challenge, what I want to do is basically really hunker down and settle into a profit-taking system. I've seen a lot of David, we've had a lot of traders on recently who have been really successful. And what I've noticed is that they are so consistent in their system, whether it's entry or exit, that I want to up my game and get to that point as well. So I want to lock in my system for profit taking. And what happened today was really funny. So I was trying to do this for YM and I ended up getting, stopped out. And then I put a trade in platinum and I ended up just flattening the trade for basically because a segment was ending. So not like a great reason to end it, but it ended up rallying up in my favor. So had I had stuck with my system that I promised I was going to do, I would have ended up profiting on that. But because I flip-flopped, I got nothing on both hands. And so that's what I'm trying to fix. So for me, I am trying to stick with a profit-taking system. And chat, take about 5 minutes, and we'll check back in and see if there's something that you want to work on for this week and next week. And we'll check in on Power Hour, and we'll see how everyone is doing. But I'm going to work on a profit-taking system that I want to stick to day in and day out and see where that gets me. Chat, hopefully you can find something that you want to work on this week, and we can check in together and kind of hold each other accountable. Jay, is there anything off the top of your head that you would want to maybe work on this week and try to join me on this challenge?
We actually talked about it in the At the Buzzer market recap on Friday, and some of the markets that we were able to trade with Topstep accounts require more patience, just naturally. We've been seeing some really good trades, and I talked about it the last time I was on here, in the cattle market and lean hogs, but those trades take an hour and a half. Dolby, I think the last time I was on with you, I said I'm not a very patient person. So sitting in a trade in an hour and a half for it to work out is difficult. But then I look back at the charts afterwards, and with a one lot on the setup that presented itself in the cattle, with a one lot, it was a $1,500 trade, right? So that's what I'm working on, right? Work on that patience. It was a 6-to-1 trade, risking about $200 to make 1,500, and I'm not better than making $1,500 in 3 hours, right? So I need to work on my patience as well.
David, you've been doing this for quite a while. I mean, was there anything that you would want to work on? I mean, little things in your trading game that you could try to improve here and there?
There's always something to improve on, right? If we're not trying to learn something every day, and like I said, I'm doing this for 35 years, but there's no ego involved in trading. It's certainly not in mine, and I'm willing to learn every single day. And there's always trades that we're going to look back on and say I could have done a little better here, or I lost too much in this one. I kind of pride myself on at least trying to be letting every trade play out. Nothing's going to work, in 2 minutes or 3 minutes. I don't know if I could stay in a trade for an hour and a half, quite frankly.
It's tough.
I mean, a long time.
That's hard for anyone. The only thing I would say to that is, if you're in it for the right reason for you, then put stop orders in and walk away from the trade and just keep raising your stop orders as it's going in your favor. And even that's not easy to do. I get it. It's not easy to do.
And I think with the tough thing was I have two different watch lists, right? And I have cattle and hogs on what I call a set and forget watch list, right? Where you should be able to put on the position and just not look at it. But then if I'm taking that trade while the equities are moving, you're sitting here looking at the desk, right? It's almost two different brains you have to use, right? Because the equities are requiring you to act a little bit quicker, and the other ones. So it's separating that. We'll see how it works, but yeah, like you said,
Today's
put in a
day
stop, let it
zero.
go.
Yeah,
Yeah.
for me, when I get, look, I'm a big believer also in no matter what trade I get in, I want to take some profits. Okay,
Right,
I showed
right,
you a trade where on the last little bit of it we got 30 points, but I'm certainly not staying in the whole trade then. But for me,
correct.
it's easier and mindset. It's much easier when I've locked in a nice profit on some of the trade that already. Then I could
Right.
just sit back and say, okay, I mean, I took 75% of my trade off already. I have a nice profit on it. There's no reason to get out of it until my chart tells me to. So that makes it a lot easier. So I'm a big proponent of any trade that I get in. Give me some money. Give me some
Yeah.
money.
Yeah.
Then I'll make sure I just can't lose money on that trade. And then I'll just let the technicals play out. So it's a lot easier to do when you've already put some money in a bank. And then you just, I'm getting in for a technical reason, get out of the balance of it for a technical reason. But all the stuff that we're talking about now, guys and girls, this is the hardest part of trading. This is what takes the longest time, right? The only way to get really proficient at this is to just keep doing it. And Nick, you talk all the time about journaling, right? And that's a gigantic thing with me is journaling. If you don't know your hit rate, then you shouldn't be trading. To me, that is a mega important thing. But then you can go back and say, okay, I look at my chart, why did I take 5 points out of this when it went up 39 points, right? Why did I take 8 points on it? And you can go back and look and just hopefully you stop doing those things. And it's a process and it takes time. It does. Let's at least anyone say what we do is easy because we know it's not, right?
No,
And
not at
there's
all.
always
Simple.
room to get better, always. But you just got to try to be as consistent as you can. I tell all my traders when I'm trading, there's no reason for me to even look at my P&L when I get in a trade. That's just how I do it. There's no reason to, especially when you're a beginning trader, when you see, and it's amazing what we do, especially as beginning traders, right? We'll get out of the trade as soon as we see some green on the screen and we'll let the losses go forever. That's
Yeah.
what beginning traders do, right? So it's just a process. It's just something that you have to do. I'm doing this for 35 years. I can look up and I can look at any chart. I don't care what it is. You can tell me it's YM, a cattle, hawk. Doesn't matter what it is. And I can look at my chart on, a 5 minute of the different time frames, and I'll know what or if I want to do anything in that chart in 30 seconds. It doesn't take that long once we get proficient at reading our charts. The two most important things to me when you start trading is number one, getting your rules down pat, your patience, your discipline, your trade management. Then you move on to reading your charts and whatever system you use. I don't claim to have the holy grail. Nobody does. Okay. But whatever system that you use, if you find something that is working for you, then you just got to perfect everything else that comes along with that. And it's just time. It's time. That's all it is.
It is. So chat, you've had some time to think. If there's anything that you want to work on this week, feel free to drop it in chat and let's all hold each other accountable, whether it's personal daily loss limit, working on an execution. Let's just all try to focus on one thing together, and we can try to hold each other accountable through this week during Power Hour. So YM projecting off of 39,260. That would have been top of the 5 minute range, kind of heading back down to the middle again. Incredibly tight markets right now. This kind of reminds me of Power Hour on Friday, to be honest, which was not exciting in the slightest. But let's see what we get from chat here as far as what they are trying to improve on.
Hey Nick,
here.
why
Yes,
don't we challenge chat also for those of you who aren't doing it? Okay, keep a journal just from today till next Friday of every single trade that you do. Every trade that you do, what setup was it? What was my stop order? What was my profit target? Did I stick to my stop? Did I get enough out of the winning trade? Really, guys, I mean, I don't know about you guys, but I don't have 50 trades a day. Sometimes I have 2 or 3 trades a day, and that's it. There have been times I sat here and had no trades. I mean, that happens also. But I think that would be a really good exercise to get everybody for a solid week. Just record every trade you did, the technical reason you got in it, your stops, why I get out of it, and come back next Friday and let's see where everybody's sitting with that. What's my hit rate? Oh, you know what? I had a 70% hit rate this week. Great. Well, if you're hitting at 70% and you're managing the trades, you should have made some money, right? I think that would be a really good challenge for everybody and helpful.
Yeah, and I'm glad you said that too, because since this is going to be a challenge, we're probably going to start feeling a lot of emotions that we probably don't want to feel. We're really going to test ourselves. I know I was trying to hold trades this morning and I was really uncomfortable. So I think journaling is a great idea to do in conjunction with the discipline challenge, because write down how you feel during the process of doing something that is uncomfortable to you, and then go back and see how you feel after. Chances are there's going to be a mismatch that you probably felt a lot more anxious during that new thing that you are doing. And it probably was a lot easier than you thought it was, or the benefits are better than you thought it was once you're able to review that in hindsight. So I love that. I think journaling is just so important in trading. So important in trading. Is that a
yeah? I mean, everybody who's
yeah.
I'm sorry, Nick. Everybody who's with Topstep, everybody who's with Topstep already has a tremendous advantage for everything that you guys do for them, right? You're trading live every day. There's a huge advantage in that, right? But it's still work beyond that, everybody. It's work, all right? And a lot of people don't want to put the time in. They just don't want to put the time or effort in it. But look at it this way. This is my business. This is Nick, this is your business. It's everybody's here business, right? And if I don't keep bookkeeping records or anything like that, I'm not going to succeed in my business. And that's how I look at this every single day. This is my business, man. This is how I make money or lose money, right? And if I'm pushing bad buttons, I'm going to be losing money. And if I'm pushing good buttons, I still could be losing money, but at least I'm doing it for the right reason.
Yeah.
That's the bottom line.
Is journaling something that you learned from your experience on the floor? Is that something that's just kind of like passed down from trader to trader, or is it just individual?
Oh God, no. But when we worked on the floor, Nick, I never wrote anything down. There was no journaling of everything. You know, when I was a specialist broker on the floor, I had the orders in my hands. I've had this conversation. You know, you didn't have to be a brain surgeon to make money when you had the buyers in your left hand and the sellers in your right hand, right? This was something that I had to learn how to do when I started trading on my own, and I lost $300,000 in 3 months. You know, because I knew everything, and I had a gigantic ego, and you know, if I can't do this, nobody can. Wrong. Okay. So, yeah, it's something I had to learn the hard way, which is why we try to pass this knowledge on to everybody, because you don't have to learn the hard way, right? Everybody who's here, everybody who's with Topstep, we're trying to take all that, as much of that pain away from you guys as we can. So just soak it up, man. Soak it up. That's the best advice I can give to anybody. And don't be in a hurry.
Oh, no, God, no, don't be. The market knows if you're in a hurry. I don't know how it knows, but it knows if you're in a hurry. That's when you really start get punished. And you know you're on the wrong side of things when you got a feeling the market is reading your mind, not in a good way.
Oh, it knows, right?
I know.
It knows
where you stop. I don't know how it knows.
It knows where
it's like Santa Claus.
It knows everything.
Yeah. I'm going to work some offers here in the YM at 260, 265, and 270. So we're short one right now. Let's just see. This is basically, for me, in my book, just a range trade. Wow, this is moving a little bit faster than I would probably like, but we're going to risk 235. Let's see if this gets back into range. But this is a range trade. We'll see how this ends up going. So we're in the 50K trading combine. We're kind of scratch on the day already. If we do get filled, okay, now we're short 3. And so total risk is 315 on the trade. Let's see if we can get back within range again. But there is some volatility coming into this market here. So let's see what ends up happening.
Coming down to the bottom of the hour, 5 seconds here. See if we get some volume. Likely, it's pretty dark right here now in New York, so I'm assuming all the traders are taking their pictures of the eclipse, but we'll see. I like the shorts, Dolby. I'm looking for 18,320 on the NASDAQ, and I'll take a short with you. 18,320 is 50% of the opening range. I use a 3-minute opening range. 18,320 is 50% of that. Looking for it to hold. It held the last time we were up there, so I'll take a short there, risking the high of the range.
Nice. Cool. So we're kind of in there.
Now, would the high of the range being like, the high of the range be like 25? Is that what you're looking at?
If I go short 20, I'm gonna use the high of the opening range, just because I don't want to
Okay.
get wicked out there. So I would go
Yep.
36. I would go
Got
36.
it. Excellent.
Nice. So cool. Yeah, we'll work this for a while and see how this pans out. But I want to see if we can get back to the middle of the range and then bottom of range. And that's the system that we're going to try to run. And anything out of that would be a bonus. The momentum thus far has not been great on this. It seems like I managed to hop into some shorts when the market wants to catch a bid. Did you get MOC yet from Mr. Tuckman?
318. It was 900 million to sell, which is non-event.
900 billion
But
to
if
sell.
you're short, it's better than it being to buy.
Okay, well, we'll take whatever we can get.
Yeah,
I
350.
got the short there. I'm in short 318.50. Because we're in this tight range, I'm gonna keep this pretty tight. If I see about $100 on this trade, I'm gonna take it off with this price action.
18,320.
I'm in at 318.50.
Okay, gotcha. I thought you said 20. That was even nicer.
It spiked. It hit 20. I didn't get filled, so then I took the point and a half.
Got it. Now, how many contracts do you normally do on a trade like that?
I'm in one right now, just because I'm not the best range bound trader. Taking some lessons from Dolby here, but normally I trade anywhere from 2 to 3. Don't try to trade much more than that.
Yeah, I'm usually around 2, depending on if I'll be more aggressive if we have a bigger move.
Yeah, I'm in 4 right now and pretty much regretting every single tick of this. So what might end up happening, I might have picked a range that was too tight. So I very easily could have tried to play a larger range, which would have been right where my stop is. So I kind of have this sneaking suspicion I might get stopped out to the tick again and have it come back down. Typically, when you are range-bound trading, you want to trade the largest range that you can find, not the smallest. So I feel like I might be a range within a range, so I could be in no man's land in this trade right now. Yeah, because I go to the 1-hour chart, and if we do a 1-hour range, we're kind of the 1-hour range is closer to 39,280 or even like 285 in the Dow. So I could be a hair early on this trade. So we kind of need to cross our fingers and hope it decides not to do a stop run. So this might have been a mistake. David, when you put on a trade and it's a mistake, you just flatten it immediately?
I give it what my normal stop would be. I don't know what your normal stop would be in YM, but let's say I did the NQs, and if my stop is 5 points and it went 5 points against me, I'm out. I'll look for another trade.
Yeah, I just got stopped out of that one.
What I'm looking at in the NQs now.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so this is what I was looking at in the NQs, right? We have a ton of price action up around 24.25. So to me, if anything, when we got above this 24.25, I'm probably going to grab a little on the long side. I'm not doing anything now because to me, there's still nothing to do. But when I see all this price action, and then we get above that price action, that's telling me that we probably have another leg up. So we'll see what happens.
Yeah.
I'm probably in the camp right now where I'd rather buy a pullback unless we get really stretched out to the upside.
Mm.
And when I say really stretched out, we're like, I don't know, we're 20 points above. If I get 30, 40 points above our moving average, I'll start a little short. And I'm trying to look for the next level I have. So all this earlier this morning was around 56. Okay. That's all this price action early this morning was around 56. So if we spike up to 50, and this is where I'm just being patient. I'm certainly not running in and buying it here, but I know I have a crap load of price action up at 56. So this could do that easily. I will start a little short if we get up near 56.
Yeah. And again, I'm going to try to work shorts again, but much further up.
So Dolby, we talked about volume the last time I was on. And David, I see you have it on your screen as well. When we got back above that volume average on the 3-minute on the NASDAQ, buying volume came in. So that's normally what I would wait for. This one was kind of just a feeler trade. But if we get some follow through on here, I'm going to get stopped. I'm still in the trade right now, still working a stop at the high of the range. But if that volume,
and I understand what you're saying. We get these big bars, especially if we got another follow through, then you're
Right.
going to get exhausted. They'll get exhausted, and then you'll get a little bit of a pullback. You still can get more from here, without a doubt.
I am a sneaking suspicion I was a hair early. But we'll see how this plays out.
Well, we got all the way to 91.
Yeah. Yeah, I think I got sucked into too small of a time frame is what ended up happening. I was focused on this little box right here, dead in the center, instead of the much bigger box, which is more important. Let's say it's a half-hour chart, which would be like all of this. So my little 5-minute range didn't mean a damn thing because we were nested inside of such a bigger range that it ended up extending outside, now coming back in. So that was really just my mistake on that one.
Yeah, and Nick, if you look,
sucked in.
If you look at the 2 o'clock high, okay,
2 o'clock
the
high,
2 o'clock high was right around 85, right?
Yeah.
2 o'clock high bar was right around 85. So to me, that would have been a nice little place to start. No question about it.
I basically, what did I get stopped at? 286. I got stopped out at 286. So I'm the guy who got stop run. I was the weak short.
Yeah, you were the high tick.
Yeah, I was the weak short. So, I don't know how you feel about this, David, but one tick below the low is the weakest long, and one tick above the high is the weakest short, whatever it is. So I was the weakest short by far, and they just ran my ass and got my money.
I would try the long around 46 now if we could spike down there fast.
For NQ?
For YM.
YM? We
spiked down around 47, 46.
Oh, interesting. So what would be that trade in your book? Like
Well, that I have my 65 EMA, my 200 EMA, and it will have gone down, 40 points to hit that?
Yeah.
So there it is. It just hit. So let's see what happens. It exactly hit 46.
Okay.
Let's see how it plays out.
No, oh man. It's just been one of those days, David. One of those days where you're just like, good trade location, but you're just a tick or two away from getting the goods. It's kind of been
I see it.
Classic Monday for me.
So I'm in this smaller 46. I will add to this at 34. That's my 200 EMA.
Okay, so you're starting to take on some longs here in the YM, huh?
Correct. Yes.
Okay, interesting. Let's see how that plays out.
So my first entry was 46. My next entry will be 33.
33. Okay, cool.
Oh man, I'm on the other side of the trade from you guys.
If that breaks my 200 EMA at 33, that's when I'll have my stop.
Got it. Yeah, it always feels. Yeah. So I'm gonna see if I can work now bids at 212 and 207. So since we extended the top of the 30-minute range, let's see if we can get back down within. Test the other side. So that's kind of like the megaphone formation that typically happens in range-bound markets where they're just trying to stop out weak positions on each side. So that's kind of what we're seeing in the last couple minutes here in the YM is the dreaded megaphone.
And look at the NQs are coming in nice and strong now. So you're making money on the NQ short now.
Yeah, trying not to count it. We're working on that patience live chat.
There you go.
Trying to. I set a profit target. I normally don't trade with one, but I have a profit target 10 points in the profit right now. We're about half of that. And if I get stopped out on this one, I get stopped out. I am trading a combine. I'm up $428 on this combine today.
Nice.
So looking to add to that. But if I get stopped out of this trade, I won't go negative on the day.
Nice. Yeah, I had one of those. I had a lot of unrealized profits today that I did not pull the trigger on. It was like a couple $100 there, a couple $100 here, and just did not press the sell button to cover and take those profits. And so now I'm down 500 when I could have been up 500. So it's one of those situations where I think one in the hand is worth two in the bush. So kind of having a little bit of regret I could have been done early in the morning. And I think that's a feeling we all kind of want to not have is, damn, I should have stopped 5 hours ago when I was up $400 and just locked it and been done.
Yeah, I mean, that's you have to decide what's enough. That's the bottom line, right?
I want to try something here, and I've recommended traders do this before. Again, I want to take. I'm in one contract, right? So I want to take partial profits if I can.
Yes.
So I want to. What I'm going to do is wherever I get out, I'm going to try to add. I'm going to try to get out of the one contract and add 5 micros, right? So that's cutting the position in half and seeing if I can get to the end of the range.
There you go.
Because I'm in that one contract. But I need this. I want the trade to get closer to my profit target, but we'll see. I'm probably should have just taken it off.
So you take, to me, I have 10 points. I'm taking half of it off, and then I'll see what the next move is.
Yep.
See, even the YMs. So I just got out of half of it break even at 46. Now I'll see what the next move is. I'll still add that back at 33. I cut my exposure now because it was, 10 points against me. So I'm okay taking half of it off break even. Now we'll see what happens for the rest of the afternoon.
Yeah, definitely a slower, more agonizing session. Chop City. Okay, what do we got? Oh, nice.
I just sold 5. Great. I sold 5 micros, and yep, there we go. Okay, I sold 5 micros, took the mini off, and now we're just going to manage the mini. So now I cut that position in half, was able to take some profits. I'm not expecting a lot on this move right now, but now I can, I can go break even with these micros and be okay with it, right? But I cut half the trade, and now we'll see. 18,300 is a major psych level, so we're going to need to see some real volume to get through that. But
yeah, I can't believe we're doing this on no market on close orders. There's just nothing here. It's weird.
Yeah, there's nothing.
But that's what these things do.
Just stops getting run. That's all we're doing. So yeah, definitely a big bummer on my 4-lot short. So I would have taken some off in the middle and probably some off down here if things had gone my way. Unfortunately, the stop was a little bit too tight, and I was too microscopic on my charts. I think we've all probably been there at one point in time where we're just sucked into the 1 minute or the 5 minute, and we missed the bigger picture. So I definitely feel like I missed the bigger picture on that one. But right idea, wrong execution, unfortunately, but it happens. We just got to learn and get better every single day. So, tune in to Topstep and get better every single day.
That's it. That's all we can do. Stick to your stop orders, know your risk, know your downside, and move on to the next trade.
Exactly right. And I'm going to try to still work some shorts, 212, 206 here, and see if we just do the exact same thing on the opposite side. Wow, got filled on all of those very quickly.
Nice push below 300. I'm going to close some of those. I'm down to 3 now, and I'll just trail. If we pop back above 300, I'll get out.
So we're in 2 at 39,209. So we stop ran on the other side. So let's see if we get back. And then I want to do half of this. So that would be about here. And we'll let this play out. And our stop is just below at 39,200. And that will be my last trade on this account. I really don't want to lose more than
I'm out there.
Like $600 on a 50K in a day. That's not ideal. Probably even a little bit too much personally. But we are still trying to figure out our sizing here in the 50K. But so far, good momentum. No complaints.
I'm flat now. We popped back above 300. 300 was the initial profit target. So that's kind of why I like to trail, because everyone saw the move we got Thursday, right? Dakota and I were in that short around 18,500. It took 30 points out of a 500-point move. So I want to try to, like David was saying earlier, capture some of the move, right? Take some profits off, and then find where, at least for me, the trade is invalidated. Back above 300, the short is invalidated. And if it presents another opportunity to get short, then I'll go ahead and take that one. But I think I'll trade with micros for the rest of the session.
Yeah, once you have put that much money in the bank, absolutely.
Right.
Yeah. Momentum for this YM trade is a little bit suspect, but we'll see what happens.
Yeah, but we've seen these gigantic moves at 345, 350. So I haven't gotten to 350. Let's see if Peter gets us the 350 market on close.
Oh, yeah, nice. I want to sell 249. See if we get there. And David,
he just posted
the straight juice from Peter Tuckman from the floor.
He just told me it's still 650 to sell, so this has nothing to do with marking on close orders, guys and girls.
Okay. This is probably just stop running around, if I had to guess.
Profit taking and everything.
Yeah. I mean, we have a really nice megaphone right now for YM.
Oh, we got a question in the chat from
getting back down.
Question in the chat from Oladeli. How did I convert mini to micros in the trade? So I had one mini on. I just took it off and traded 5 micros, and tried to get in around the same spot. So I'm not changing the average on the trade.
And I'm going to go break even on my trade. We did get a test of my entry on the 1 minute. So I don't like moving my stops to break even too early. I do allow for 1 test of my entry before I go to break even, and I did get that test. So my position is at break even now. So in some regards, we are locking in some profits because we're not locking in losses. That's not ideal. And so we're going to try to get 249 and then 290 to the upside. That's kind of the system that I'm trying to run, which is the middle of the range, top of range. And then if you have a third, it's the range extension out. So let's just hold this and see what happens here.
See if the NQs can get above like 08. Could reverse this little down move.
Yeah.
But if we don't, it's still negative here.
And David, this has kind of been my day recently. Is nice, really nice entry. You're up a couple $100, and then the wheels fall off. So maybe I end up getting stopped out here. But I'm having a really kind of hard time just banking the stuff, but trying to run the system and see if the system works. But do you adjust your profit taking depending on market state? If it's a day where fundamentals are in control and levels are just getting crushed, do you just sit back, or you always stick in the same system every time?
No, when things are really just whipsawing all over the place, that's the time to be just much more patient. I'll just look for things to get stretched more, and maybe I'll go to a 15-minute chart or a 30-minute chart or a 1-hour chart and try to find some other levels there. Like I'm looking at the YM right now, right? We have nothing on a 5-minute chart. So I'm going to try and see if we have something anywhere that might make sense. So I'm going to my 15-minute, 30-minute. I'll see if I find something. If not, I will wait until maybe we get a far from moving average trade in it. But yeah, I have no moving averages anywhere in this, all the way down my chart. So
yeah, and we're starting to get a little bit of momentum. Feels kind of mediocre right now. I try not to get sucked into momentum because it can change on a dime.
Yeah, I mean, if we break the recent lows here, I think you got a little more to the downside. So let's see what they do right about here.
Yeah. Let's see. We're real close to getting stopped out at break even on this one. But at one point in time,
the sell side is building up a little.
Yeah, go ahead.
Sell side is building up a little bit, 750 million to sell now, which still isn't a big number.
Okay.
We'll get the final number.
Yeah.
We'll get the final number at 350.
350. Okay. And so we'll just hang out here with this trade. Let this one cook. See how this goes. But I mean, at one point I did have about $250, which would have caught my losing day in half. You know, is that a way that you would consider trading? You know, David or Jay is just, you know, trade the P&L. I know some people really like trading P&L because it helps their mental capital, whereas some people don't like doing it because now you're not letting your entire edge play out. Where do you kind of sit on that, David?
Me personally, if I was down 500 and I cut it in half, I'm out. Look for the next trade.
Okay.
That's how I would personally handle it.
What about you, Jay?
I think it's okay. I think it's okay to want to recover a day, or recover part of the day. But I think it gets dangerous when you say, "Hey, I'm down 500, so I need to make 500,"
right?
Because then you might not take that profit in the middle, right? So,
nice.
I think sometimes we set that hard target, and you get 400, and you're like, "Well, I need 5," and you don't take the trade. That doesn't make sense.
No, I agree with that 100%. That's why I said even if I got half back, all right, that's a good trade. Just go on to the next trade now.
Yeah.
So we couldn't get above 09 in the NQs. So that became a little resistance now. All the moving averages are around 08, 09. So the fact that we couldn't get above that yet is good, Nick.
Okay, good. I mean, it seems Feels okay. I mean, the 1 minute is kind of range bound right now. A little bit of resistance at 233. Got a series of higher lows. That's some news I hear in the background. I think is that
Hey,
Eddie?
yes, indeed.
Hey, we got Eddie here.
As it's
What's
been
up?
posted in the chat, 780 million to the sell side. And there you have
Paired
it.
off. Pete just said me.
780 million. And thank you, Vince. Vince Smith also putting that in chat.
Okay. Pete just sent me that it's down to only 50 million now, 1 minute later. So most of it paired off.
So most of it did get paired off. Okay, so what should we
He
expect?
gave me 750 at 348 and 50 million at 350. So it's pairing off.
Okay. Okay. So market's absorbing it. Not a big deal.
So do we expect to see, I mean, I know I do, going into tomorrow, probably pretty much the same, right? We have CPI, what is that, Wednesday?
Yeah, Wednesday and Thursday.
Really low volume. We got some nice moves early on, but after 11:30 Eastern, hasn't been much going on. So I expect a lot of the same going into the rest of the week.
I'm with you, 100%.
Yeah.
Especially tomorrow.
Yeah.
Wednesday and Thursday we got news. So.
I'm out break even.
Come on.
Really catching a yeah, so my next target now would be 39,165. And we only got 10 minutes left, man. It's really flying by. So
it doesn't
David,
matter.
This
could go down 60 points in 10 minutes.
Yeah. I'm going to leave a buy order in here while I talk about something real quick. So, David, we do something called Top Quiz here. It gives people the opportunity to win a free reset. And if we could get the winners up on screen, that'd be fantastic. Typically, we get some funny names. So we got the names up right now. Let's see if we can find anyone who snuck in a good one. Nick to D-Tick. Yeah, I experienced that one today.
Yeah, Mama needs a reset. Well, you got one. Congratulations.
There you go, Mom. That's exactly right.
What else we got here?
I think, yeah, I don't know. Nothing. I think that's probably got Pick Me Again, Black Swan, Frequent Flyer.
Who need a reset?
Mama needs a reset.
There's two. There's Mama needs a reset.
Yeah.
Who needs a reset?
Who needs a reset?
Oh, Optimist on reset. Yeah, a lot of people needing the resets apparently. So man, flying by here. Already 2:53. We got a couple minutes left in this fairly boring trading session, but could have been profitable if you had shorted, played the ranges. You probably could have gotten a little bit of a scalp here and there for a couple hundo. I know I could have had I kind of gotten back out at half off whatever my P&L was. But let's see what happens the last couple minutes.
We had more action in the last 45 minutes than we did in the previous 3 hours.
Yeah.
Yeah, really.
Yeah, right. I might even try to work a NASDAQ one too, actually. Because these ranges are really nice.
I was thinking the same thing.
Yeah.
I'm going micros.
One of those.
A lot of price action at 85 that we missed by a couple of points in the NQs.
Yeah.
I might actually switch over from
there it goes.
Remove. Yeah, I'm going to NASDAQ. I'm going to switch to NASDAQ and see if we can get a little stop run here to 280, to 18,280.
Yeah, we got a lot of price action down at 85 to 80.
CL doing nothing. ES doing nothing. Gold, nothing. EK, nothing. NASDAQ, I think NASDAQ is going to get a little stretchy here. Apparently, we do have a message from MP.
Okay.
James, if you have it ready, we could probably knock that out real quick. Let's see what,
all right, standing here with my risk manager, Mick. Hey there. Who keeps me in check on everything. And as he always says, don't let your losing days eclipse your winning day. Truth. Even if it's a partial eclipse, makes sense all the time.
That's right.
That was pretty cute video. Thanks, guys. Thanks, Mick. Mick, that's our David. That's our risk manager right there. So if you ever get into a live funded account, he's going to be your guy to help you manage that account. If you want to adjust your loss limits, daily loss limits, contracts, that type of thing, you can talk to Mick, the risk manager right there. That was with MP our fearless leader in Chicago. The Chicago Mercantile Exchange, I believe. I get the CBOT and the CME mixed up all the time. I should be better about that.
Dolby, you getting that trade or?
I got a pending order here at 18,280. I don't know if we're going to get it in time.
Yeah.
To be honest, we'll see. It might shoot down and shoot back up again, and maybe I can get a couple hundo.
A couple of hundo.
We'll see. Today was a day of just leaving profits. A lot of unrealized gains today that left on the table. So got to hit the journal, take some notes. Not fun to leave money on the table. Let's see if we can get one last trade here. David, do you normally trade this? I think you do kind of trade this a little bit, right? Every now and then you'll trade power hour, the last hour of the day.
If there's a big imbalance, it's really when I'll get aggressive. But normally I don't like trading after 3 o'clock, 3:30.
Yeah, and he's on Eastern time, chat. If you haven't figured that out,
yeah, Eastern time. Because I usually end the live trading room somewhere around 3 o'clock.
Somewhere around. Oh, nice. And yeah, we're gonna have your buddy Peter on Wednesday, actually.
Nice.
Yeah, and that should be good too. A lot of stuff going on Wednesday, Thursday. A lot of news.
Yep.
So we should probably expect about the same volatility today, chat, as you did today, unless something kind of wonky happens. But hunker down for some more range-bound trading as the market awaits some big news on Wednesday and Thursday. All the big count guys, people who have a lot of money to deploy, are not going to deploy it before big news events.
Agreed.
I could be wrong, but that's about right, David? They're going to sit in the sidelines and wait for things to digest before they start throwing in orders?
Yes, 100%.
Okay.
First hour, last hour, especially tomorrow.
First hour, last hour. Nice.
Yeah.
And then, we got a couple minutes here, and once we get to 3 o'clock, we'll pass it off to Eddie Horn, who will close it out. 2 minutes left in this session. We got one last chance here to maybe catch a fill in the NASDAQ if it decides to shoot down and run back up again. Wouldn't risk a ton.
What I will do sometimes, Nick, though, is hang out after the bell and see if we get big, giant moves.
Oh, really?
Yeah, that does work out sometimes. Yeah. Still see some volume.
One day last week, I don't know what happened, but after the bell, we spiked up like 80 points.
Yep.
Wow.
So sometimes you'll see that a little bit after hours too.
Yeah, we got
I think we're going out
with minutes. Yeah, I would agree. This is very reminiscent of Friday's Power Hour, which was a complete drag. But,
Whimper.
Yeah, unless you were nailing a range bound. Yeah, unless you nailed that range bound trade on either the long or the short side, it probably was not a very exciting Power Hour today for you. Not that you weren't entertained. I just mean on your own.
ES looked really nice, actually. I'm looking at the ES chart. It moved a little better than the NASDAQ did.
Yeah. And it did a range extension about the same time, I think. What was that? 230?
Yeah.
Yeah, just hopped right up. Give me all your cheap shorts, and I'll take those. But what do we got here? 40 seconds into a relatively chill power hour. In chat, we are doing a discipline challenge this week. So please think of something that you are trying to improve. I'm watching you. David is watching you. Jay is watching you. So keep track. We're going to check in and see how everyone's doing tomorrow and throughout the rest of the week. I'm on my day 0 right now. We're all on day 0. So whatever you have for the week, let's be serious about it this time. And let's hold each other accountable. Make sure we all try to improve together as traders. And that is the bell. That's all we got. I'm going to pass this off to Eddie Horn. David, It was so much fun to have you here. Jay, pleasure as always. Eddie, close us out, baby.
All right, my friend. Thank you very much for being with us here today. I hope that you did learn something. Taking a look into tomorrow, as far as our economic numbers, not much going on here. We do have a 11 o'clock EIA short-term energy outlook. 12 o'clock high noon tomorrow, we've got a 3-year note auction. And of course, that API weekly crude stock. Taking a look at our menu for our All-Star cast. Tomorrow, Rips is going to join Hogan, myself, opening call. It's going to stick around here for Fast Markets. And yes, Andre will be back with us. We got Andre, Hogue, Dolby, Jack, and Rips for Fast Market. Zach Anthony's going to be with us for Power Players. We also got Henry going to join us for Top Quiz. We've got, of course, Shoulder Tap with Mick and myself, JD and Robert for group coaching. We're going to have Deanna with us here tomorrow for market stalking at 1 o'clock p.m. Central Time, and to close that day out, yes, Andre, Dolby, and Hogue for Power Hour. So hopefully you did learn something. We really appreciate you being with us here, and we love having you here with us each and every day, and hopefully you love being here. So hopefully you learned something here today. We're going to be moving forward in your trading journey each and every day of the week. So get some rest, re-energize today, and have a fantastic rest of your day, your night, your morning. Stay safe, stay healthy. Until we meet again, I'm Eddie Horn, and this has been Top Step TV.